If you want to feel more connected to humanity and a little less alone, listen to Beautiful Anonymous. Each week, I take a phone call from one random anonymous human being. There's over 400 episodes in our back catalog. You get to feel connected to all these different people all over the world. Recent episodes include one where a lady survived a murder attempt by her own son. But then the week before that, we just talked about Star Trek. It can be anything. It's unpredictable. It's raw. It's real. Get Beautiful Anonymous wherever you listen to podcasts.
You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Oh, Rashida got bags. Hey, Rashida. Oh, Rashida? Is that how you say it? Oh, Rashida too? Or maybe I read this incorrectly. All I saw was Rashida. So I thought of, K. Michelle. Oh, Rashida got bags. Her husband's a girl. Happy Friday, guys. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. Let me know if you can hear me, see me, and all the things. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, everywhere. We're live everywhere. Let me know where you guys are watching from. I am streaming live from New York City. It's a fairly cool day here in New York City. It's supposed to be like 70, I think, on Sunday. I don't even know what to wear anymore. I was just packing up my my summer clothes. Apparently, I can't pack them up just yet. And I have my t-shirt on from the Kempire After Dark merch store from the live tour. If you can see it, look, Kempire After Dark, the Villain Era Tour. You can see the tour dates on the back, our sold out shows and things like that. You can get all of the merch. You can get the version without my face if you don't want to walk around the streets with my face on it. But some of you do. Look, some of you do. All right. So more information on that will be available in the description. Shout out to those of you that are watching, those of you that are listening on the Kempire podcast. We just got through the three parts of the Real Housewives of Miami reunion. How would you rate it from 1 to 10? How would you guys rate it? Was it a good reunion? It wasn't a bad part 3. Especially after last week's episode, and I was feeling like, okay, we started off with the end and we ended with the beginning last week during our recap. But it feels like this was a decent end. But I watched the Peacock version. While I was away, I couldn't watch the Peacock version. But I watched the Peacock version, which was uncensored and extended. And I always tell you guys, you're watching an edited show. And that's important to note because there was some context that was added in the extended version that made things a little bit different for me. I mean, this is not a promotion for Peacock. They're not paying or sponsoring today's show. So I'm just saying, but, Creme Brulee says, I like the reunion. You give it an 8. Amanda gave it a 7. I'm seeing a lot of 7s and 6s. It was decent. It was okay. It was all right. It definitely looked as if by the end of the reunion, it felt like everyone was not necessarily getting along, but it did feel like we could move forward. You know what I mean? I saw at the end when they were, making the toast that Alexia went over and she was talking with Gertie and things like that. So it felt like everyone was good. For the most part, we didn't revisit the Julia and the Adriana of it all, which I was kind of surprised that we didn't go back and revisit that a little bit or kind of figure out where they were at. But maybe production and Bravo wants to expand on that for next season. Just a heads up, we don't care. We want Adriana back. I could care less about Julia. I don't. And I saw there was a story that just came out that Julia. They said here, hold on. According to People Magazine, the media wing of Bravo, People Magazine reports this, and they're exclusive because this means someone gave them this story. Hey, Dave Quinn. So watching back the first 2 parts of the Real Housewives of Miami season 7 reunion was painful for Julia, but it also gave her a new perspective. The Bravo reality TV star tells People exclusively in an exclusive conversation, it was very emotional. Reliving those moments is really hard, but it also made me think and self-reflect. The beauty as hard as the reality. Okay, I'm going to say this. I believe in mental health, and I definitely give kudos to those that get help. But this is feeling like Bravo said, oh, we need you to go into therapy to justify you coming back next season. Because we've seen a pattern of behavior. We were shown a pattern of violent behavior from Julia in this reunion. So this sounds like damage control. I said it. You can go get treated for PTSD, and I'm happy for you, but you don't need to come back next season. Just saying. She says, reliving those moments is really hard, but it also made me think and self-reflect. The beauty, as hard as a reality television can be, is that it can be a pathway for personal growth and self-reflection. And if you are honest with yourself and with your audience, it can actually be, believe me or not, quite a healing experience. Really? For the former model and wife of tennis legend Martina Navratilova, this season forced her to confront parts of herself she'd long been ashamed of. Oh, with the cheating part of herself? Okay. She said, it helped me grow as a woman, as a mother, as a wife. She says, not holding back tears. I'm still unpacking a lot. I carry a lot of guilt about it and a lot of pain because it can be really hard to look at yourself in the mirror and not like the person you see. But doing that has really helped me see that I need help.
Lies! The lies!
Shut up! I'm sorry. Oh, Mill says the same thing I just said. Shut up, Julia. Because it's so obvious. I think they think the audience is stupid. We saw a pattern of violent behavior from Julia, and a lot of people were saying, how do you bring back this person who's shown a pattern of being physical with not just one person from the cast, but multiple people? Hence why you saw during the reunion, she kept on saying, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry if I made you feel this way. No, take a look at this picture. Julia ain't sorry for nothing. Hold on. Where's the reunion picture? Please hold. Let me pull this reunion picture up, because the reunion picture is quite telling. Okay? Hold on. Let me bring up the reunion picture, because I also updated this damn downloads. There we go. Let me bring this reunion picture up so that you guys can see. Please hold. This is a live show, so I'm trying to take a look at this reunion picture. Look at her eyes. Look at Julia's eyes. Look for Julia's eyes. Evil. Look, evil. Evil. That's how I feel. Anyway. Back to what People Magazine is writing in regards to damage control. Again, this is an exclusive conversation that they had with her. Okay? She said, it helped me grow as a woman, as a mother, as a wife. I'm still unpacking a lot. I carry a lot of guilt about it and a lot of pain because it can be really hard to look at yourself in the mirror and not like the person you see. But doing that has really helped me see that I need help. She continues. The commitment to honesty also means owning the things that she's done she's not proud of, including a series of never before seen Do you see what I'm saying? Like, the damage control is here, Bravo. We see what you're doing, and we're not falling for it. The commitment to honesty, this is what Dave Quinn writes in the article. The same guy that wrote the book for the Real Housewives, that one. The same one that Kiki Monique brought the tea to, and then he brought it to Tamra. I'm giving you the context. Okay, you're welcome. He says that commitment to honesty also means owning the things that she's done she's not proud of, including a series of never-before-seen heated outbursts that were shown in flashbacks on the reunion episodes. The scenes not shown by producers and the network in edit came on the heels of a much-talked-about moment this season that did make it to air. During a tense disagreement, Julia tossed a glass of water at co-star Gertie. Julia apologized for her actions multiple times throughout the season and during the reunion. She remains apologetic about the moment now. She said, there is no excuse for throwing things or screaming. I take full responsibility and accountability for my behavior, and I'm sorry again to Gertie. Sorry. Very sorry. She says, there's no one to blame for this but me. What I've done, it didn't come out of nowhere. I see now that it comes from years of trauma. I've never fully faced. It bubbled up. I felt cornered emotionally. I snapped, and that's not okay. What I can see so clearly now that it wasn't just a television meltdown, it was a cry for help that played out on camera. Okay, girl. Now, Julia says that she's ready to confront the past head on. That includes finally facing the pain she still carries with her over the loss of her 5-month-old son, Maximilian Stern, who died in 2000 from shaken baby syndrome while in the care of a nanny her ex, Edward Stern, had hired. Sometimes when bad things happen to you, whether in childhood or later in life, it paralyzes you and you just want to run away. I've been the queen of sweeping things under the rug. I've always told myself I'll deal with it tomorrow, but I see now that comes back to bite you in the end, and I need to work on myself. I want to do better, not just for me, but for my family. To help her do that, Julia tells people she's turning to professionals. I'm seeking treatment for PTSD. Because I need to finally deal with these things I've buried for years. This is deep work and I can't do it alone. I may be a strong woman, but I'm not Wonder Woman. I'm human. I'm human. Her wife, Martina Navratilova, with whom Julia last year adopted 2 sons, has been a source of strength throughout. They've even worked through the marital issues when Julia says which brought them closer. This must be also counteracting the rumors that they're divorcing. She says, Martina showed me a lot of grace when navigating this privately. Who has also 2 adult daughters from previous relationships. She's met my honesty and vulnerability with a lot of love. I'm so grateful to her. Blah, 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 blah. She says, English isn't my first language. I speak 5, and sometimes my words don't come across clearly. So I understand why a lot of people are confused by what I say and how I act. But I'm trying my best, and I'm doing the work to get better. What defines us isn't our mistakes. It's how we learn from them and move forward. And that's the journey I'm on. Bravo. I know you watch. Production, Purveyors of Pop, who's being sued by Todd. Sidebar, I heard that Todd and Alexia were spotted together again. Please understand, we're not falling for it. Julia can go. We do not need Julia. If Julia goes, please understand, nothing's going to change. First of all, if you think the proximity to celebrity like Martina is going to help, no. Martina is transphobic. Martina doesn't believe in surrogacy. But as I said to you before, Andy Cohen doesn't care about the things that he strongly believes in as someone who participated in surrogacy. He's only thinking about his check. So he's not going to stand up for what's right or say what's wrong and what's right. But I will. And we are not falling for the damage control that this article, written by the same person that published a book through Andy Cohen's publishing house, is writing. So, fantastic. Congratulations to her. Speaking of Julia, we haven't been live and doing our recaps since I found out that Julia's social worker, and I'm going to put that in quotes, social worker, was on social media trolling Gertie in the comment section of a blog. Talking about how Gertie makes herself the victim all the time, perpetually makes herself the victim. This is the social worker that we saw on the show. And then we did a little digging. She was following me. She probably unfollowed me. Good. I don't need you here. Girl, like, why are you following me? You're a social worker. Why are you involved in the mess? So now everyone's suspicions that this adoption may have been not above board, allegedly, makes me a little bit more suspicious and concerned for those little boys. Very concerned for those little boys. And even when Julia talks about it during the reunion on how she found out, first of all, there are some concerns. You and Martina are quite older. Martina just battled 2 different cancers. Technically, I think any legitimate agency is going to be like, you're not an ideal candidate. And I still don't feel like we got to the bottom of why your daughters did not like what happened. And I don't know if it's even has anything to do with the adoption. It might just having to do with being the daughter of a narcissistic mom and a terrible stepmom that's just hateful and transphobic and just mean. Yeah, like just mean. So she wants to paint over the picture like everything is good. Vika is happy about it now. She's come full circle. Emma, she's the younger one. She's still working on it. She hasn't met the kids. Da 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 da. I promise you, next season, if Julia disappears and we never mention her again, we will not care. We won't even notice. I promise you. I promise you, we would not notice. We would actually prefer. I much prefer not to see Martina's hateful self on this show anymore, because we know that's the only reason why Julia got this position, why Julia had this position secured, and why Julia continues to lick the bottom feet of the bros. Because at the end of the reunion, she's like, I wish I could reach all of you. I just want to thank all of you for your support during these challenging. I just want to read. Okay, girl, we get it. You went from one being the lapdog of Adriana now to the lapdog of 4 other people. We see you. All right, damn. I had a lot. Look, I went through a lot. Okay. If you haven't already, guys, be sure to like the video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Miami. But the Real Housewives of Potomac, their taglines have dropped. So before we get into the actual reunion, let's get into the taglines really quickly. And I'll put a timestamp. If we could just put a timestamp right now, if you guys can confirm the timestamp. So for the replay crew that want to just jump right to our Real Housewives of Potomac taglines, fine. Let me go through the taglines really quickly in regards to Real Housewives of Potomac, because I'm not doing a separate live talk about these whack taglines because they're whack. They're whack. So E! News had the exclusive in regards to the taglines. Let's go through the taglines. Let's start with Giselle. So for those that are just joining us, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac taglines for season 10. They were revealed earlier today. Giselle's tagline is, when the nest is empty, it's time for naked, grown, and sexy. Honestly, I don't mind this one. I don't mind this one, Giselle. When the nest is empty, it's time for naked, grown, and sexy. I don't mind this one. It's not bad. I'm going to probably give this one, if you had to rate this from 1 to 10, I'm going to give this an 8. I was going to say 7, but I'm going to give it an 8. When the nest is empty, it's time for naked, grown, and sexy. That's Giselle's tagline. Beauty Stick says, I'm scared to hear Wendy's. You should be. You should. You should be. You should be. And it wouldn't shock me that maybe they changed it last minute. It wouldn't shock me, because the housewives don't know their taglines until the production finalizes it when we hear about it, because they record a bunch of different ones and then production decides what it will be. So it wouldn't shock me that they changed this one at the last minute, but we shall see. All right, a lot of you don't like it. I'm seeing 4s, 5s, 3s. I see an 8. I see a 7, 8.5. I like it. I don't mind it. I don't think this is bad. This is why I always find it funny when you guys are like, oh my God, you hate Giselle. No, like when Giselle does something funny or witty, I'm going to say it. When the nest is empty, it's time for naked, grown, and sexy. That doesn't mean she wrote this either. This could be a producer. This could be Andy Cohen. We don't know. All right, speaking of Wendy Asefo, Wendy's tagline for season 10 of Real Housewives of Potomac is this. Hold on. Let me bring up Dr. Wendy. I put the high in higher education. The crazy part about this, because, recently she revealed that she resigned from her current position at Wesleyan University. Remember, she withdrew from working at the Johns Hopkins, which is interesting. But this is also a play off of the weed business. She says, I put the high in higher education. Okay. I don't really like it, though, to be honest with you. I think I get what she's saying. I get the double entendre that she's doing here. I don't love it, though. I put the high in higher education. I'm going to give that a 5. How would you guys rate it? I'm going to give it a 5. I don't even know if a 5 is worthy, but I'm gonna give it a 5. She's already taken so many L's. I'm gonna give her a 5. How would you guys rate Wendy's tagline? I put the high in higher education. Damn, Jennifer. Jennifer says, I mean, she did look high. And I think that might be part of the reason why production decided maybe last minute, I don't know this for a fact, maybe last minute to put that as her tagline. Okay. All right. You guys will let me know. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let me know. Replay crew as well. You'll probably see along the side here our donation fundraiser for breast cancer awareness. I'm shaming all of you who has donated. You won't be able to see it here during the live. But if you go to any of the other videos that we've done in the last couple of weeks, you'll be able to find the donation button. If you're watching the replay, you'll see the donation button. But if you haven't already, be sure to donate. If we do not hit $3,000, I'm going to call you all brokies. Now I'm playing. I'm just playing. I'm playing. Okay. All right. I see you guys have feelings. A lot of you do not like Wendy's tagline. Angel Massey's tagline. And again, we don't really know what her season's going to be like, so this might be a play off her season. So Angel Massey, who I've liked so far. I don't mind Angel so far. But again, it's still too soon. So Angel says, hell hath no fury like an angel scorned. I kind of like this one. It's simple, to the point, a play off of her name. It also makes me wonder what her season's going to be like. Thank you, Kay, for donating. Kay said she donated earlier. Thank you, Kay. Angel Massey's tagline, hell hath no fury like an angel scorned. I like it. I'm giving it an 8. How would you guys rate it? Dorothy says, I like her husband. We all like her husband. He's one of the new sexy additions. Hold on, I'm putting up the wrong photo. Let me bring up Angel's photo for those that want to know who Angel is. So Angel's tagline is hell hath no fury like an angel scorned. I thought it was good. Felicia says, I like it. I'm seeing 7s, 8s. I'm seeing a 10. Star gave her a 10. Okay. I like it. I think it's good. Dion says, not again. Called us broke last time, but we pay. I'll play. You know I'm playing. I would never call you guys broke. Okay, I was joking. But apparently shame works. Oh my goodness. Apparently shame works. All right, let's move on. I really don't want to call you guys broke. But if it will work to raise money for Black women's health imperative, then I'm gonna call you brokies, brokey. Are you working a 9 to 5? Are you in a cubicle? I'm playing. Live. Playing. Ashley Darby's tagline: this cherry blossom is ready for her second bloom. This cherry blossom is ready for her second bloom. This is Ashley's tagline. Where's my Ashley photo? This cherry blossom is ready for her second bloom. We already know what this is a play on. This is supposed to be like her next chapter after divorce. It's okay. It's not terrible. It's not great either. I have to keep saying it in order to see like if I like it or not. This cherry blossom is ready for a second bloom. It's not bad. It's like, eh. Do I like it more than Wendy's though? I kind of like it more than Wendy's though. I put the high in higher education. I don't know. I'm going to give it a 5.5. A 5.5. It's okay. It's all right. How would you guys rate it? We're talking about the season 10 taglines. Carrie gave it a -3. Damn. Foxy gave it a 4. Nicole gave it, hated it. RC gave it a 3. I think you guys just don't like Ashley. Doja says that was as whack as her second bloom party. Linda says, go away. Girl, go away. Jennifer gave it a 0. Damn. Am I just too nice? Miss Kelly says, I actually like Ashley's tagline. How would you rate it? CC says, boo. Damn. Y'all are tough. Okay. CC gave it a 3. Savannah gave it, damn, y'all really don't like Ashley. Dina says, boo for 0. Angel says, Kempire is grading on a curve. Maybe. All right, Kiarna. Let's talk about Kiarna's, Kiarna, beautiful gowns, nice condo, Stewart. Do I not have a photo for Kiarna? Oh my God, Kiarna, I don't have a photo for you. Damn, Kiana, what'd I do with your photo? Damn, you're such a non-factor. I do not have a single photo for Kiana. Aw, damn. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I don't have a picture for Kiana. I must have had it before. And then look, and then Stacey comes in and she's like, oh. All right, let's see what Kiana's tagline is. Kiana says, beauty is my business, but getting you together is my specialty. That's not bad. Even though, here's the thing. It's a great tagline, but based off of these first 2 episodes, she's not getting anyone together. So it's sort of like, good tagline, but are you actually going to live up to it? She says, beauty is my business, but getting you together is my specialty. I like it as a tagline. However, if she was getting someone together in these first 2 episodes, then I would be like, yes, girl, do it. But it feels like it's a reach. It feels like it's falling apart. But I like the tagline. So because of the first 2 episodes and I like the tagline, I think a safe score for me would be a 7. But if she was really living up to it, it probably would be a 9. But Jillian says it's good, but it's not true. I mean, oftentimes people's taglines are not true, but she's taking a lot of L's these first 2 episodes. So I'm sort of like, I like the tagline. Beauty is my business, but getting you together is my specialty. But no. A 7. I'm going to give it a 7. How would you guys rate Kiana's tagline? All right. Let's talk about another newbie, Tia. I have a picture for Tia, though. Hey, Tia. Tia Glover. Her tagline is, you can only clutch pearls if you have them. And darling, I have loads. I like it. It's good. She says, you can only clutch pearls if you have them. And darling, I have loads. I like it. Yeah, because here's the thing. Again, Tia, do not feel like you need to rob, steal in order to, have another season and have a better home. Based off the home, I'm like, it's not falling the same for me. If she had lived in a home that was like, it gave what she says that she grew up with, then I probably would be like, yes, girl, she's giving us fabulosity in every which way. But the home wasn't giving that for me. But again, I don't want her to change anything. I don't want her to beg, borrow, and steal or lie or do insurance fraud in order to do it. I'm just saying, I don't want this to make her feel like she needs to do anything. How are you rating it? RC says it's cute. The British lady is weird fit for this show. Why do you say that, Theo? Where you been, Theo? I feel like I haven't seen you in a hot second. Linda gives it an 8. I think it's nice. I like the taglines. So for the tagline, I'm going to give her a 9. Not me giving her a 9. Yep, I'm going to give her a 9. You can only clutch pearls if you have them. And darling, I have loads. I mean, look. I mean, she said she grew up with money, so this is fitting. She's a full-time housewife, Maureen. All right. Let's talk about the best, but definitely not the least. Okay? Let's bring up our girl. Ooh, ooh. Let's bring up our girl, Stacey. Okay? Stacey says, for her tagline, and mind you, it's so short and to the point. Some people believe the lies, but still I rise. No, we're not welcoming TJ to the party. Stacey says, some people believe the lies, but still I rise. And if you watched the reunion last season, then it makes even more sense. And then when you hear about what's playing out this season, then you're like, she's going to have a tough season. Everyone's saying that she's lying. Even though this week she was vindicated by TMZ. They saw the divorce decree. She actually did get a divorce late last year. So she's being vindicated. Okay? So Stacey says, some people believe the lies, but still I rise. I'm going to give her a 9.5 because it's good, but it's not perfect. I like it. Some people believe the lies, but still I rise. Oh, damn, Laura. Laura says, as a part of her legal defense team this season, it's an 8. Taurus with T says Stacey is a 10. Nikki gave it a 10. Jay gave it a 9.5. Come on. Angel says vindication is Stacey's, at least about her divorce. Okay, Pageant Mommy says, I do not like Stacey at all. But I like her tagline, a 9. I love our audience. Theo says Stacey's line sounds like it should be a bit longer, right? I mean, a lot of them have very short taglines this year. So I thought that was interesting. All right. I should pick out a tagline for each season for myself based off how I'm feeling for the season. So if you have an idea what my tagline should be for how I'm recapping Real Housewives of Potomac, let me know. Okay?
Whenever I need to send roses that are guaranteed to make someone's day, the only place I trust is 1-800-Flowers.com. With 1-800-Flowers, my friends and family always receive stunning, high-quality bouquets that they absolutely love. Right now, when you buy a dozen multicolored roses, 1-800-Flowers will double your bouquet to 24 roses. To claim this special double roses offer, go to 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
All right. Yeah, I like to start. Gave Stacey's tagline a 10. I think a lot of people are liking Stacey's tagline. I like it. It's nothing crazy creative, but it's funny. It's one of my favorites. I gave it that. It must be my favorite. I gave it the highest score. All right, so that was the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 10 taglines. Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the replay crew. If you're watching the replay of this, be sure to let us know your thoughts on how you would rate the taglines. Angela says, I like the British lady, 10. Tia's tagline, you can only clutch pearls if you have them. And darling, I have loads. I like it too. It's growing on me the more I say it. Okay. Savannah says, I like Stacey. She stands up for herself, even if it's a lie. And she's handling them. I have to give her credit. She's handling them. All right, let's move on. Let's get to our Real Housewives of Miami recap. I'm already tired. And I've been I just had Pilates, though. That might be why I'm tired. Let me sip on my shake. Okay. Let's get to the Real Housewives of Miami recap. Let's start from the beginning. And the beginning is where they're talking about Larsa talking about Lisa going to Milan and saying that she should be with her father. We talked about that during the season. What I liked, and some of you that watched the Bravo version but didn't watch the Peacock version, you hear Lisa explain it a little bit more. And look, it made sense when Lisa explained it. She was like, you guys don't know the complicated history that I have with my dad. And I understood it better because I know when it happened, it was sort of like, yeah, Lisa, like, why are you in Milan if your father's on his deathbed? She said he wasn't even responsive. He wasn't even awake. So either she was in Milan doing this, or she would have been in Canada crying in a hotel room. And I was like, okay. And then she says, you guys also don't know the complicated relationship that she had with her dad. So, there were some things that happened that she has not talked about yet in regards to why her and her dad were estranged for a very long time. So I'm going to give her grace that I get it. Yes, you've made amends, but it's still a complicated situation where you're sort of like, I want to be there and I will be there, but I also need to still keep my distance. Angel says Kemp's tagline is, I'm a lover boy, not a housewife. Not a housewife toy. Don't try me. I kind of like that one, Angel. I kind of like that. Taurus with the T, thank you so much for the super chat. And guys, don't forget to keep liking the video if you haven't already. Taurus with the T says, what would be your tagline for Real Housewives of Miami? Well, I'm asking you guys. What do you guys think my tagline based on how I recap this season? It might have something to do with Julia. Okay. All right. Elise says, I think you like doing the accent. Which one? Look, which one? The English accent or the Russian something accent? I don't even know what I would call that accent I did for Julia. Nicole says, was annoyed the women didn't allow Lisa to talk. And she was getting frustrated as well. But if you watch the extended version on Peacock, then you get to see a little bit more her ability to explain why she didn't. She said her father would have wanted her to do what she loves. And I guess this is part of what she loves. Okay. Kay says that she made her peace her own way. I agree. I have to say, I did change my feelings on that situation based off of the reunion when she explained that, there's some unresolved issues. And I get it. She recently resolved her relationship with her dad. And sometimes those unresolved issues still are there, but he's dying, so you still want to at least make peace. Okay? Thank you, Teresa. Teresa says, Ken, good at all the accents. I don't think I'm that great, but you guys enjoy it. My favorite is when he does Lisa and Meredith. We recapped the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City yesterday, guys, and I was doing the accents. Lou says, are you okay? Because I'm great. That should be my tagline. Thank you, Luz. That should be my tag. I like that one, Luz. Are you okay? Because I'm great. I like it. All right. I love when you guys come up with my taglines. You guys just come up with better ones. Mills says, twerking on the fence until I decide who to put on the bench should be your tagline. Come on through. I like this too. Twerking on the fence until I decide who to put on the bench. Okay, Pajamami says, Kempire's tagline, I will share my notes with the team, but remember, I am always team me. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. Nicole says, OMG, these taglines. Wait, I missed one. Hold on. Dr. Miss Honey says, I specialize in tea. I specialize in tea and I'm always team me. I think I would change this a little bit, Dr. Miss Honey, and be, I specialize in tea. Wait. No, maybe this is good the way it is. I specialize in tea and I'm always team me. This is a good one too. Y'all come up with better taglines than Bravo. I have a feeling Kempire is going to be on some show. No, I'm not. I'm not doing reality television. Right? Angel says, these taglines. Beauty Six says, you guys are good. Right? Daddy says, these taglines are so good. And when I was on Humble Brag, they asked me what my tagline would be. And I was like, I don't even know. Damn it, I wish I had this. Well, at least I'll be prepared the next time. Okay? Let me go back through these taglines. Let me save these taglines. These taglines were good. Oh, hold on. Jay says, Miami tagline, give me the yachts and billionaires, but keep the microaggressions. Oh, look. Oh. Hold on. Let me save these taglines, guys. And as I'm doing that, be sure to like the video. Let me save these taglines because these were good. These were good. Oh, wait, hold on. Elizabeth, I missed your tagline. Elizabeth says, Kempire, I'm fit and sexy, but don't try me. Okay. All right. I don't know about all that. But thank you. I'll take the compliment. Oh, Atia says, take the top 3 and we vote. Okay. All right, Atia. You're making it official over here. Yes, Lulu. That is my hope. The next time when they come on my podcast, I hope to have Cynthia and Crystal in person. So we're just waiting till we're all in the same city to do it. So stay tuned when we're all in the city. Because I had questions that I did not ask them because I was like, you guys are not going to get the juicy stuff on your podcast. I'm going to get the juicy stuff on my podcast. I missed yours, Mr. Melamax. I didn't see it. Post it again. Mr. Melamax said, why didn't you read mine? I didn't see it. Honestly, I didn't. I read all your other comments, or at least allude to them if I can't read it out loud. Keith says, Kempire's tagline, you can manipulate everyone else, but you can't manipulate the king. Oh! I'm saving all of these, y'all. Can someone save these for me, please? Oh, I just made myself smaller. Please hold. Can someone do me a favor and save these for me? Can someone just save them and then email them to me? Email them to me because I want to remember these. I'm trying to save them here, but then it's gonna get. I don't think I'm able to save them. Okay, let me just say thank you, Miss Parker, for the super chat. Miss Parker says, "Where the villain era ends, the lover boy begins." Yeah, for those that don't know, the lover boy era is loading. Villain era is still here, as I'm still wearing my T-shirt from the tour. Again, check out the information in the description. All right, let me get to this, guys. Because we have so much more to talk about, and I have a meeting in a couple of hours, so I need to prepare for that meeting. All right. Kim says, tagline, I'm done being the villain unless the storyline needs saving. Okay. Oh, Lord. Okay. So Lisa explains her thoughts on how the group reacted to her father's passing. And I like the fact that she pointed out, and again, I don't know if in the Bravo version she did this as well. She was like, because they were trying, at one particular point, Alexia was trying to overtalk her, and Alexia was like, she was like, can I speak? And then Alexia was like, I mean, enough is enough already. So everyone was like, what do you mean enough is enough? And she was like, Gertie can be recovering from cancer for the last year. I could be going through my divorce for the, she's like, I'm still going through it. And literally, there was new information that came out that's ongoing between Lenny and Lisa right now. Okay. So I like that Lisa pointed that out. She was just like, and I wish there was more conversation on how it felt like this group just wanted Gertie to move on from her cancer. Okay. So Lisa points out, she's like, when your mother died, Alexia's mother died. Remember, we saw that during the reboot. When I remember that season, it was like a really touching season. They've had a really good reboot, Real Housewives of Miami. And Lisa says, I threw a party for your mom. I had everyone wear red lipstick for your mom. And then Kiki, y'all saw what Kiki said under her breath? She's like, so are we comparing grief now? Kiki, you are such a lapdog. Really, right now? Really? She's like, are we comparing grief now? She's pointing out a fact that she was there for Alexia, and it felt like everybody was just telling her to move on. Oh, Dina, I like this one. Dina says, Kempire's tagline, I'm not ratchet or wretched, but I am a Kiki. Oh, my goodness. Ooh, Daisy says Alexia's never beaten those Barracuda allegations. Daisy says Kiki feeding Alexia lines was crazy. Daphne says that Kiki rubs me the wrong way. There we go. Winter says, I peeped that Kempire. Kiki isn't likable anymore. I think you guys are just seeing Kiki for who she's always been. But that's just my opinion. Lou says that Kiki is one-sided. Purple Yellow says, I disagree. Kiki was being honest. Well, that's fine. You could be honest, but it felt like, so what is happening here that Lisa can't feel justified? I don't think she's comparing grief. What she's comparing is the fact that she gave space to Alexia, and Alexia did not give her the same space. No one's comparing grief. You're literally saying that and we've noticed this with Alexia. Even if they made a whole trip about Alexia, during the after show, Alexia is just like, the trip didn't feel like it was about me. No matter what you do for Alexia, Alexia is ungrateful. She's ungrateful. She thinks the world revolves around her. And even when it does revolve around her, she's like, it's not enough. Just saying. Purple says, what's with all the Kiki hate? I think this is a making of Kiki. We're all watching the same thing. So it can't be just one person. It'd be different if it was just one person. We're all watching the same thing. And a lot of people are like, okay, that was an interesting take. And I think because we're seeing more of Kiki is why we're seeing the behavior that we didn't notice before. Because remember, they didn't really highlight Kiki like that before. And everyone kept on saying, I want to see more of Kiki. I want to see more of Kiki. Now we see more of Kiki and we're like, she's not very likable. Hold on. You guys are coming in with the taglines. I'm trying to focus on the recap. Coco says my Miami tagline, because I think I would need a different tagline for each city and how I recap it. She says, I may be able to do multiple accents, but I'm not lost in translation. Y'all are a little too good at this. So if I'm ever on a Housewives show and I need a tagline, I know where I'm going. Teresa says, I don't blame Todd for leaving Alexia. She did it to herself. But apparently, word on the street, they were recently seen together. But Jillian says, Alexia needs a trip and support for a man she's still hunching on. Shaking my head. Exactly. Jen says that Kiki can't read the room. She should be, she should be a little. Pageant says that Kiki is lackluster and a kiss ass. I think what's happening and the reason why she went from being very likable to unlikable, again, we didn't see a lot of Kiki last season. They've highlighted Kiki a lot more now, and that's what you're noticing. At least that's what I'm noticing. All right, let me focus, guys, and get through the rest of this. We still have so much to go through, so I'm going to try get through this. So what exactly happened in the elevator? Remember when they were in Spain, there was something that went down in the elevator, and Julia decides to explain for Larsa. That was so weird to me. Like, why are the other housewives explaining when it's not your incident to explain? It felt like that side of the couch had a plot and a plan. So Julia decided to explain what went down. Okay, and why Jody was texting Larsa so much. And Gertie was the only one that made sense because she points out, no, I think we're forgetting something about this situation. It was the insinuation that Jody was doing something, why his eyes were so big. Because remember, we were sort of like, why were they having such a big reaction? And they never said why, like, oh my God, his eyes are so big. It was the insinuation. And that might be part of the reason why Jody was so upset. And then Larsa said, well, it didn't do him any favors with the whole AC of it all. And then Lisa says, well, AC is air conditioning. Okay, girl. But Gertie, for me, was the one who brought clarity to the situation. Like, I think we're forgetting an important element here and why Jody might be upset. You guys were insinuating like he had done something, and you were saying he was angry and he was acting out of character and his eyes were popping out. And we never really got to the bottom of that. Sweet Cherry says, I'm glad Gertie raised the point. And I still don't feel like we got to the bottom of it. Kay says that side came together and pre-planned, which worked out for them. I'm going to be honest with you. It actually made them have a better reunion than the other side. But the other side, Adriana held her own. I will say Lisa held her own. Stephanie, girl, I don't know why you were there. The only reason why Stephanie got that seat next to Andy was because of Alexia always feeling like she needs to be next to Andy. So it just made logistical sense to put Stephanie right there. Stephanie brought nothing during this reunion. I don't care if she screamed at the top of her lungs in part 3. Just saying. Oh, Joy. Joy says Kempire's tagline, I'm not messy, I'm meticulous, and everyone's fair game. Oh, you guys are good. Joy says Kempire's tagline, I'm not messy, I'm meticulous, and everyone's fair game. Okay. These are very good taglines, guys. Where the hell were y'all when I needed these? Okay. Your Majesty says, these taglines you all created are so good, right? And they're so fitting for me. So fitting for me. Okay, let me focus, guys. I can't with all the I appreciate the taglines. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to leave some more taglines in the comments. And for those that are reading the comments, like the best ones. That way, I'll be able to see them. Just saying. That was a good one. I like that one, Joy. Joy said, hold on. Let me go back to Joy's comment. Where's Joy's comment? I lost it already. Oh, right, here it is. Joy says, I'm not messy, I'm meticulous, and everyone's fair game. This one is really good. Here come Keith. Would y'all stop with the tagline? I like the taglines, but I'm distracted now. Keith says Kempire's OC tagline, because I feel like I need a different tagline for every city. He says, I'm done with the drama, I'm down with the pettiness, and I'm done with them. Oh, woo, woo, woo. Oh, LC says, Kiki is an employee, not a boss. It's definitely giving that. And here's the thing, and I wish someone would have brought this up, because they talk about Kate Gate. Okay, I'll wait till we get to Kate Gate. Let me focus. Let me stay in line. So they talk about what happened in the elevator. Andy asked Lisa, what should Larsa apologize for? Because she says that, she has a lot to apologize for. But she never really says what it is, which is weird to me. Again, it could have been said, edited out of the reunion. But I feel like there's so much drama that happened between Lisa and Larsa that we never really get to the bottom of, like, what exactly do we need for us to move on? You know what I mean? So Andy asks her, and Lisa says that the situation has caused issues in her relationship with Jody to the point where they almost broke up. Do you think that it should have caused that many issues for her relationship? I don't think it should have been anything to cause. I feel like her saying that says to me there are bigger issues happening in their relationship that I don't think anything that happened between her and Larsa should have done anything like that. Which is so funny when Larsa brought up the Jody and the insinuation about AC. I'm like, girl, you don't have any room to talk. You were dating a whole boyfriend that's been caught out there by paparazzi taking lines. Please do not compare the two. See, but they don't know how to read over there in Miami because the space and opportunity was there for Lisa to come. And mind you, it wasn't going to hurt Larsa because she's no longer dating the man, but it was a perfect opportunity. I'm like, don't sit here over talking about or insinuating anything about my boyfriend and AC. He was talking about air conditioning. Worry about your ex-boyfriend that was caught with lines up his nose and recently arrested with narcotics. But they can't. Look, they can't. They can't read like that. Like that, so much space and opportunity for Lisa to throw that at her. But she didn't. I would have. Just saying. Just saying. All right. Julia addresses her stirring the pot between Alexia and Stephanie. Okay, she was being a lapdog, clearly. So Stephanie says that the trip to Marbella wouldn't have happened if she didn't do it. So I guess if she didn't decide to take her plane to Marbella, production was not going to fly to Marbella and film this scene. So that's important to note because she was able to have this scene, which was also good for the show. It was kind of nice to have like multiple cities and this experience and things like that. But apparently production was not going to film it if Stephanie didn't decide to take her plane. Okay? So Julia says that, she had a brain fart and that's why she said what she said to Alexia when Alexia arrived in Spain. No, you didn't. You were being a lapdog. That's exactly what it came across as. And I wish somebody, again, they could have said it and they edited it out. But I would have screamed across the room. I was like, girl, you were being a lapdog. That's why you did it. You were stirring the pot. You were doing what you've been doing all season, being the lapdog for the bros. That's what I would have said. So Lisa asked, where was Julia's energy for Marisol and Alexia not going to Marbella? She was like, you have so much energy for everybody else, but your two besties did not show up for you. And Julia had this stupid excuse. She was like, Marbella was about me. Not everything is always about me. So I wanted to make this about me. Everything is always about you, you narcissist. I keep telling you, like, for me, she's a textbook narcissist. People love to throw around narcissists, but no, she really is a narcissist. And I think that's part of the reason why her daughters have an issue with her. Because it's always about you, Julia. So she says, I wanted to make this trip about me. So they're all going back and forth, and Stephanie loses it. And she's like, can I talk? Because Lisa's screaming across the room. Larson and them are screaming across the room. So, yeah. So Stephanie asked if it was that bad about the jet rules, that her private jet rules. Was it that bad? Andy was just like, I would have taken the jet. Marisol claims that it was not about the rules, and it was like she was trying to do solitary confinement. I have to agree with Marisol here. Because one element that they forgot to bring up was that they were trying to separate Adriana on the plane. Remember? They were trying to put Adriana in her own little closet, basically on the plane. And that's where I have to, and I wish someone would have brought that up because that was an important element. I could see why Marisol, even though I don't think it was just that, but I could see that Stephanie was being messy with how she was doing the seating chart. She thought that she was in with the bros, that all of them, they just want to be friends with the bros. So she went back with the bros and she was sitting there and she was coming up. It's like, these are the rules. And then let's do the seating chart. She wasn't ready for the bros to turn on her and be like, yeah, girl, we're not down with that. And I wish they would have talked more about this during the reunion because I think Lisa was the one who brought it up. Like the bros were trying to get everyone else not to take the plane either. They brushed over that so quickly. Just saying. Kendra says, Kempire's tagline should be cameras don't lie and neither do I. Ooh, that's a good one, Kendra. That's a good one. I like that. Jay says my Atlanta tagline should be thinking about blocking me to thinking about blocking me to prevent spilling your tea. Baby, I still have ways to spill your tea. I see where you're going with that. Need a little fine tuning though. Thank you, Jay. Kendra, thank you so much for being a member and for all of these super chats. Kendra says, the girls play games, I play receipts, or I spill tea, sip the truth, and serve it with Miami heat. Okay. I already know if I ever do Housewives, who I am calling for my taglines. Kendra gave me another super chat with the tagline, I'm not messy, I'm meticulous. Okay. Y'all keep saying I'm not messy. Kendra says, they call me Kempire because this is my dynasty. That's like my Beverly Hills one. That's my Beverly Hills tagline. Thank you, Kendra. Thank you for all the super chats. Kim, thank you so much for the super chat. Kim says, this reunion proves that Stephanie brings nothing but her plane. Literally to the point where Lisa's like, can we stop talking about the plane? It's like the plane is another cast member. I agree. I agree with Kim. And I agree with Lisa. Okay. Let's move on. And thank you guys for all the taglines and all the likes. If you haven't already, let's get to 300 likes. We have over 700 if you're watching on multiple platforms. Don't forget to follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheKempire. All right. All right. So they talk about that. Then Stephanie brings up the bros trying to convince everyone not to go. That's who brought it up. And then they do this little twins game. We can skip over that. Let's talk about Cake Gate, because Kiki addresses the cake and says that it was not her intent to be malicious. I don't believe that. Why would you saw her reaction about her age before. She literally left a dinner because of you calling her old. Why do you think putting her age on a cake would be cool? And what also stood out to me was the fact that Kiki went to the bros to tell them what she planned to do. And they were even like, oh, I don't want anything to do with that. So that alone should have been an indication, let's not do that. You know what I mean? So I don't believe Kiki when she says she wasn't trying to be malicious. You were definitely trying to be shady and take a dig. Maybe you weren't trying to be all out malicious, but you were definitely trying to be shady. You were not trying to... Adriana gave no indication that she would have found that funny. Pageant Mommy says, the lies. Kiki intended for it to be malicious and ageist. Okay. Let me move on. And here's the thing. Adriana, I get it. You have a thing about your age, and I appreciate you being vulnerable about it. I will say, you making yourself out to be the victim during this. It's just like, and she's just like, Gertie wanted to do a party for me, and I told her no. I have a thing about my age. I haven't had a birthday party since my quinceañera, and I was just like, okay. All right. And I'm glad that Marisol pointed out, well, if you have such a thing about your age, then why the hell did you talk about me being an old whore and my knees? Now I have a thing about my knees. Okay. All right. I agree. First of all, when they showed Marisol's knees, it's like, your knees look fine. She's like, I'm going to have a procedure now because I feel so, self-conscious about my knees. I wore stockings the rest of the season after that. Okay. I was like, all right. Her knees look fine, though. Please don't do anything to your knees, Marisol. There's nothing wrong with her knees. When they showed her legs, I was like, her legs look fine. Unless she was wearing stockings and I couldn't tell. But okay. So... but she points out, like, you have a thing about your age, but the way that you dragged me for your age. I mean, I have to say, I agree. It was very hypocritical. Like, you have a thing about your age, but you had no problem dragging Marisol. But Adriana says, well, she was trying to isolate me from the group. I don't know if they brought this up during the Bravo version, guys, but Adriana claims that when Elsa had a stroke and they demoted Marisol to a friend of in the second season, she had Marisol be her housemate, and she says that, she was really supportive of Marisol during that time. And Marisol at that time says, I'm never going to forget this, so thank you so much for being there for me during this time. So Marisol said that she would never forget that. But for Adriana, she said where they went left was the season where they had brought on that rumor, the guy that she was dating. They were saying like, oh, he was married. Only for us to come to find out, Adriana vindicated again, he wasn't. So she said that's where everything went left. So I wonder, I feel like there's so much more than they're saying. And I definitely think it has more to do with the show than them not liking each other. And I also think it's because Adriana knows a lot about them. I keep saying that. Sidebar, I do have the clip. Adriana did an interview with Entertainment Tonight and she spilled some more tea, which it was kind of weird because we didn't address the Julia and Adriana of it all in part 3. But she did an interview with Entertainment Tonight and spilled some tea. I need to play it. I need to play the clip. Please hold.
She left Martina, okay,
She's talking to Bryce Sanders from Entertainment Tonight, and she's talking about when Julia left Martina, when Martina was going through chemotherapy and she went to go get those facelifts. This is what she's saying that she had information on. So she had a lot of stuff. I honestly now don't believe that Adriana was going to spill the tea that she had some sort of affair with Julia. She has so much more information on Julia. And I don't think she wanted to implicate herself in the drama. Take a listen to what she said.
Fighting not one but 2 cancers, and decided to leave Martina to go in New York to go to Paris to have a full facelift. And when I told her, Julia, don't do that. That's not going to look good if somebody finds out. She says, oh, because she gets angry. So now finally people are seeing her true reaction. She doesn't like to be called out, and she gets very aggressive when you call her out. So she got really aggressive and she said, this was scheduled, and what difference does it make? She goes, oh, I know, and I'm going to say I'm going to go see my daughter. Well, the daughter had to leave school every day and be her nurse.
Boom. So is that the reason why her daughter was upset with her, or her daughters were upset with her? Is that the reason why? Because your narcissistic mother, again, is prioritizing herself over her daughters?
She was using her daughter to be her nurse, while Martina is alone in New York City fighting 2 cancers.
Okay.
So who does that? She's so selfish. It's all about her and her compulsion to go get more and more and more and to appropriate, because she can create. And people who can create appropriate. So
boom.
That was my big bomb at that time. I wasn't going to disclose this that I'm disclosing right now,
Okay.
It was nothing to do with sexuality, with hooking up. When she left.
She also calls out Julia for basically because she doesn't think that she is gay herself, Adriana, but she says, what if she was? And now you've outed me to the world in order to benefit yourself. And I was like, y'all say a lot, and we can say a lot about Adriana, but Adriana she's not a dumb one. She's not a dumb one. I don't love how she handled the whole Wretched Ratchet situation or bringing her friend on the show to sort of justify, like, I'm not racist. I think she should have just let it play out. But because I really still believe that she didn't mean ratchet in a racist way. I think she really meant, because it didn't make sense based off of the behavior and based on what we were watching. I was like, that doesn't really make sense. But I still believe that. But anyway. All right. Exactly. Patrick Mommy says she can't create, she appropriates. Okay, Adriana. Dane says Kiki disappointed me badly with that statement. Teresa says Adriana has always been my favorite. I can't say that Adriana has always been my favorite. I'm honest. She hasn't always been my favorite, but I will say she carried the reunion. I wish we had heard more from her during part 3, but yeah. Dr. Miss Honey had another tagline for me. She says, Kempire's tagline, these ladies block me and then watch me, but they can never clock me. Oh! That part. Look, that part. All right. So I'm glad I remember that. I wanted to play that clip for you guys in regards to what she said during the Entertainment Tonight interview. All right. So that was the tea that Adriana claims that she was going to spill, not the "we had an affair" tea. Who knows? Well, apparently it looks like Julia has a lot of secrets. Okay, including the Haitian mortician and the police officer. Okay. All right. Okay. So they take a break, and this is where Larsa and Lisa end up having a conversation. Larsa and Lisa end up getting a little heated, but Lisa says maybe we need to have another conversation on another day away from these cameras. But Larsa does apologize to Jody, and Jody says, like, I haven't even seen Marcus in like over a year. So she's like, and we're fighting over nothing. No, you guys use this as your storyline. You saw that Larsa was really trying to move on in this reunion. She was really like, let's move on. She didn't want to fight anymore. She sees what you guys say on social media. She's like, let's move on. I'm tired of this fight with us. So they had that conversation during the break, and Larsa apologizes to Jody. Okay? All right. So we come back from the commercial break, and we have a Gertie package talking about her health. I noticed when they flash back, Gertie's lost some weight. And she says that she decided not to have, she gets emotional talking about her health and how far she's come. But she decided not to have the reconstructive surgeries because she looked at her body and she was just like, I need to just be grateful. And I took that as, she was like, you know what? I have my health. I went through what I went through. I almost died. I have my health. Let me just be grateful for what I have. And she was like, my husband doesn't care. And her husband's there and he has her back. Okay. So I thought that was sweet. So Andy asked Gertie about how she grew up and her experience, you know, what she talked about in therapy about being the youngest, sent to America first on her own. And eventually she started thinking, like, did I do something wrong? Did they send me away? You know, because I did something wrong. So Andy tries to ask whether or not that this equate to the abandonment that she felt from when she was left with, you know, without her family, to what she experienced with the group and the Julia's situation. And she said it wasn't about abandonment. It was more so about, I think, just sort of, I don't feel like Gertie explained it in the best way, but I saw it as the bullying and sort of the alienation that she was feeling from this group is what it reminded her of when she was growing up. Okay, so that's what she was feeling. But again, who knows? For all we know, she could have explained it really well, and they edited it out. They definitely chopped and screwed this reunion, and it was to the benefit of the right side of the couch. Doja says that Andy glossed over Gertie's package. He sure did. He sure did. All right. Let me go back to my notes. All right. Then they talk about Julia's adoption storyline. Okay, so Julia says that they started the adoption process before Martina's cancers, and Martina had the 2 cancers, and then they restarted after Martina got better. Here's the thing, but this goes back to what I've been saying about Julia being a narcissist and selfish. It wasn't even a huge span of time. If your partner just went through cancer, the last thing I personally would be thinking about, especially at their age, would be like, let's add to the family. I think a lot of people are already thinking like, why would you be adopting at y'all age? But okay, fine. If you want to adopt and you have the means, fine. You want to give a good home, fine. But she literally went through 2 cancers. I don't know any adoption agency that would even say that you guys were viable candidates between the age and Martina just going through two cancers. But then when we find out that the social workers on social media trolling Gertie from the cast and following me, a blogger, that says to me like, shaky. But we all suspected that there might be something a little shaky and shady behind the adoption, allegedly. Just saying. All right. So she talked about that process, and she says that they restarted the process after Martina got better. And Andy asked, did the daughters, the reason why they were mad, did they feel replaced? And she was like, something like that. She says the daughters have always known that she's wanted to have a big family. Girl, the daughters have always known that she's wanted to have a big family. The daughters are in college. They probably heard you talk about that when they were younger, and they were like, okay, you're older now. I'm sure you're going to let that go. But okay. All right. So she talks about how Vika has come around, has actually met the boys. Emma still has not. She's still adjusting to the idea. She claims that the girls, when Andy says, were the girls upset that maybe, God forbid, because of your age, if something happens to you, that they will have to take care of the boys. And she's like, we've talked about that with them. And, if anything happens, they will be there for the boys. That's their brothers. And she was like, that goes without saying. No, it doesn't go without saying. Because right now, they don't like the situation. So it doesn't go without saying. And God forbid, honestly, I don't know. I really don't know if, God forbid, something happened to both of them, that those girls wouldn't be like, that's not my responsibility. I never signed up for this. I live in a whole other country. So I don't know if I believe that they will step up. And honestly, I wouldn't require them to step up. Dion says she's lying. That's what I got. Based off of this reunion, we've discovered that Julia is a big liar. Big liar. So I don't believe what she said. I think she's doing damage control, very much like that article from People magazine talking about she's in therapy. It's damage control. Oh, Keith said, my parents are 57. I wish they would come to me saying they're about to have another kid. I wouldn't care if my parents are old, way older than 57. If my parents told me that they were having another kid, I'm like, good for you. What's that got to do with me? Look, what's that got to do with me? Please understand. Make sure you figure out what's going to happen with those kids. God forbid something happen to you. Just saying. Ivy says Martina's 68 years old. Mm-hmm. She is. Miss Parker, thank you so much for the super chat. Miss Parker says, I'm team me and I keep it real. Try to cross me and I'll read you more than your astrological sign. Oh, that was a good one, Miss Parker. I'm team me and I keep it real. Try to cross me and I'll read more than your astrological signs. That's a good one. I hope someone's keeping track of these taglines. These are gone. Kendra says, thank you for the super chat, Kendra. She says, I think the Real Housewives of Miami cast is threatened by intelligent, smart women. We saw that with Dr. Nicole. Dr. Nicole does come up during the reunion. We'll talk about that in a second. Amber, the Sag, thank you for the super chat and for being a member. Was Julia engaged perhaps as much as 9 times? If she was. If yes, wouldn't that explain a lot of her selfishness? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we saw Adriana try to explain it as well. She was like, it makes sense that she was engaged that many times. Winter says that she doesn't care about Martina or her health. I mean, it's hard to say it, but just saying. Somebody needs to say it. Excuse me. Okay, before I move on, I do want to drop the call link for, just because I've been ranting and raving for over an hour. All right, I am going to drop the call in link for our members first before I forget. I'm not done. I still have a lot more to go into, but I do want to drop the call in link. And for the live chat, let's get to 300 likes, and I'll drop the call links for you guys as well. We're almost there. Okay. All right. There we go. All right. Let me open up my notes again. So she talks about that. Let's move on from there. Marisol is selling Mama Elsa's home. I think it was all news to us that she still had Mama Elsa's home. Apparently, she's been renting it out, but she's about to sell it. So Marisol says that they have been renting it out. She says that her mother isn't connected to the home anymore like that. Stephanie was confused when Andy says that, you're in communication with Elsa. And she's like, what did you mean she's in communication with Elsa? Spiritually, okay? And she also talks about how Mama Elsa would love Steve and that she feels like she sent Steve to her. Okay. Andy then brings up Dr. Nicole, mentioning a possible friend of hiring a private investigator to dig up info on her in order to elevate themselves to get a mojito. Okay? And I think Marisol's response just confirmed what we all were thinking. She was like, prove it. Prove it. And you're like, why do you think she would say something like, to get listeners? I believe Dr. Nicole. Dr. Nicole has not given liar on this crew of women. Dr. Nicole has not given thirsty when it comes to this crew of women. Marisol, you've given both liar, manipulative, and All right. Mary Duda says, "Don't blame your mom. Stop." About Steve. Y'all are a mess. Okay, so Stephanie says that she didn't like that Marisol kept on sending her all the negative stories. Do you have a friend like that sends negative stuff to you all the time, but in their head they feel like they're helping you? I thought that was interesting because apparently Stephanie says that Marisol, she had a tough time during the season and all the backlash and the rumors and things like that, and she was just like, "Did I make the biggest mistake of my life by doing the show?" And she says that Marisol kept on sending her all the negative stories. And she didn't say anything to Marisol, but she believes Larsa had told her. And Larsa says that Marisol came into the situation thinking that Stephanie was going to be one of their crew, basically. They didn't say it like this. I'm going to say it like this. Marisol and Alexia thought that Stephanie was going to be one of the people that joined the group and be cool with her. However, Stephanie does say Marisol did advise her, be open to everyone. She didn't dog out Adriana. And she also says Adriana said the same thing. She did not dog out Marisol, which I can appreciate. I can definitely appreciate. So Larsa believes that Marisol was blindsided that Stephanie and her did not connect in that way. Okay. Speaking of Marisol, so Adriana and Marisol addressed the ratchet and wretched conversation of it all. Adriana says that she did not say ratchet, and in the context of how it was used. And Gertie defends her as well, saying that based off of the definition and the way that Adriana was explaining it, it didn't make sense for ratchet. Kiki says, "I don't believe that Adriana's racist." She's like, but she did find it interesting when she's been battling with these other women, that she's never used that word with the other women. Even when they replay it again, now I'm like, is it ratchet or did she say wretched? She does have a very thick accent. But again, in the context of what they were doing, it didn't make sense. Calling her ratchet in that particular time, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But again, I believe she said, initially when it happened, I heard ratchet. But according to Kiki, she didn't take it as racist. Okay? Apparently, Kiki did get into that Amazon truck and he drove around the corner or something like that. Marisol does apologize to Kiki because they talk about how Marisol helped Adriana. And Kiki was sort of like, I thought Marisol and I were in a good place, and for her to help Adriana. Marisol says that she was like, I was thinking about myself because I was hoping that Adriana would lay off me for 2 years. I don't know why you would think that. I have to call BS. I have to call BS because I don't believe that you were trying to help Adriana or trying to help yourself, that she was going to lay off you for 2 years. She was not going to. So stop. Pageant Mommy says, Kiki said that she doesn't believe that any of them are racist. So, rolling eyes. Yeah. Savannah says, it was definitely the wrong word. Kay says, I'll give Kiki that you've never called anyone else wretched. Yeah. Yeah, especially Marisol. All right. So they go back and forth in regards to the wretched ratchet of it all. Fine. So at the end of this reunion, they kind of go around the room to talk about what, the biggest lessons that they learned during the season. Stephanie says that this experience has been probably like the top 5 experiences of her life. Well, that's sad. But okay, look, fine. I was like, that's her experience. But I was like, the top 5 experiences? Okay. All right, girl. Lisa says that she's really grown a lot, and a lot of the even Andy were like, yeah, it does feel like you've grown a lot. She says she's grown as a mother, as a friend. Gertie decides to promote her book when Andy goes there, and he's like, oh, you're going to plug your book? She was like, of course I am. Okay. All right. So she promoted her book. Adriana apparently put rules up on everyone's mirror, and no one knew who it was. And they thought it was production who put it up there because she was kind of giving them guidelines on how the reunion should go. I have to give Adriana, I know people, that's the thing. I think people think because you have an accent on some shape or form that you think people aren't smart. She's brilliant. It's the language barrier that it's hard for her to articulate herself sometimes, but we get it. Like Adriana is very, very, very smart. And she gave them all kind of really good guidelines to the point where people thought it was production that was kind of giving them the guidelines on how the reunion should go. And then some people thought that it was Stephanie. And Stephanie read it and she was like, I like this. So, so Kiki says that she feels like the group is like having a bunch of husbands. Okay, girl. Marisol says that she loves this group. She loves what she does, meaning that she loves her job. Adriana shows him like, I love my dog. 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 T, I saw that. I saw that with Brian McKnight. Oh my, there's something very sinister about Brian McKnight's energy. I don't even know if I'm going to report on that story. Oh, he looked crazy when he went on social media. Stay tuned. I'll get back to you guys. I have a meeting in about an hour. Okay, I got time for that. If you're just joining us, guys, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Miami. Don't forget, you can hear a podcast version of our live recaps and special episodes. We recapped the Real Housewives of Orange County earlier as well. You can hear the audio of that on the Kempire podcast. Also, join our Club Kempire podcast. It's a special paid version where I drop tea. It's also where you can hear our live from Philly show. So be sure to check that out as well. I probably will also be dropping some of our other audio, maybe our live from DC show. So be sure to check that out. If you haven't already, there's a free 3-day trial as well. And if you're watching me on YouTube, you can see this is a little sample of my tour shirt, you know, from the Kempire After Dark villain era. They will not be available for much longer. So come the new year, the Loverboy era is loading. So these will not be available, okay? So be sure to check that out. I would turn around, but I'm sitting, so I don't feel like getting up. Okay. Ooh, Talia says, Kiki annoys me. She oversells sex constantly, exposing her privates and doing too much. It's cringe. And I think she leans into it more because people talk about it. So, all right. What else is said at the end of this reunion? And then we'll get to the calls. I'm also going to drop the call link for the general audience as well. Guys, keep liking the video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. All right. Oh, Julia then, you know, thanks the other women on her side of the couch for supporting her during this very challenging season. Okay, girl. Still do not want to see Julia back. Who wants to see Julia back? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. It's okay if you do. I just want to do a consensus. Who wants to see Julia back? I don't. Larsa says that she feels like, that they all do damage control. I feel like they're doing because they want this entire cast to come back. And she's sort of like, you know, I feel connected to these women. She's like, even Adriana, I feel like if she ever needed something, I would be there for Adriana. Really, girl? I heard you don't even like Adriana, but I think we could tell you don't like her. So Alexia gets emotional when it comes to her. And she says, you know, she appreciates everyone's support of the group. I appreciate production for zooming in to Gertie as Gertie decides to put on her lip gloss while Alexia's crying. I thought that was hilarious. I was like, ooh. She's like, Alexia's crying, and Gertie's like, time to reapply my lip gloss. Look, time to reapply my lip gloss. And when you look at the photo from the reunion, it's very interesting to see. This is the photo. It's very interesting to see. Like everybody, for the most part, is smiling, except I really hated what's her name? Larsa's look for this reunion, and she's looked so good before in other reunions. I hate this look on her. She's her and Gertie are not smiling in these photos. Gertie looks great though. Gertie is snatched. Gertie says she's been working out. She's definitely lost some weight since the filming of the season. She looks snatched. She looks great. It's so crazy what a couple of pounds would do. You know what I mean? But everyone's smiling, and Julia got that sinister smile going on. Look at Julia's face. Zoom in on Julia's face, y'all. She looks evil. Looks evil. And of course, Alexia had to be in the middle. She's like, I gotta be the star. I gotta be the star. All right, girl. Look. All right. What else happened? All right, so that was it. Let's get to the callers. Again, keep in mind the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors, and everything that they say is a legend of their opinion. And we have no legal obligation to whatever they say. All right, let me go. Let me drop the call-in link. Oh, wait, I did already, right? I dropped the call link. All right, we got a couple people backstage. Good. We don't got a lot of people. Fantastic. That's fantastic. Like, I got things to do, y'all. I ain't got time for all these, conversations. Kendra, thank you for the super chat. Kendra says, I thought Steve was Marisol's driver for when she drinks, not her husband. He could be both, her lavender husband and her driver. Mr. Mellon Magic, thank you so much for the super chat. Mr. Mellon says, 2 taglines. You banish me to hell, but at least I can sing well. Another one. A true king doesn't beg for info. He provides it. Cough, cough, Carlos. You know what? Mr. Mellon Magic, so shady. Kendra, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, can we retire the word plain from Real Housewives of Miami? Hopefully for next season they will. Yamira, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Yamira says, did you notice when Marisol says that we're not best friends, we're just getting to know one another regarding the bros' friendship with Julia? Oh, I didn't even notice that. But I already told you, they do not value her like that. As we saw with the whole plane situation. But that's... If she wants to believe that they appreciate her, then that's on her. That is on her. But they don't. They don't. All right. Let's get to the callers. Again, callers, please respect the timer so that we can get to everyone. Live chat. Did I drop the call link for the live chat? I think I did. All right. Let me bring up our first caller. Angel's backstage. Angel, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Miami?
Hey, Kempire. Happy Friday.
You too.
I am giving the season a solid 8. I'm giving separation letters to Julia or Julia, whatever her name is this week, Marisol, Larsa, and Kiki. They are played out to be nice. I'm going to leave it there. I'll just say they're played out. And then for Marisol to say she needs her knees done, no, she needs to go get an LFT, which is a liver function test, because we are not going to let her forget that she sat in our faces this season with an empty plate and a coffee. So don't get your knees done. Go get an LFT, please, Marisol. And then my last tagline submission for you, Kemp, is for all the housewives watching from the weeds. Thank you. YouTube, check, please. Have a good weekend, Kemp.
Thanks, Angel. Damn. Okay. Thanks, Angel. Wow. Damn. Marisol. All right. KEW is backstage. We're going to bring them up next. KEW, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello from London. So very quickly, I'm so sorry, but since last time that I called and my son was kicking in the background, he loves you so much. He's been asking me to speak to you, so he's got something to tell you.
Okay.
Hi, Kempire. I love you. I don't like Julia Marisol.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Stop now. Okay, that was it. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Wait, KW, how old is he?
Oh, hold on. He's 6. He absolutely loves you, and he keeps asking me when is the next time that Kempire that comes back to London, because he wants to come and see you.
You can't come to that show, young man. You're too young.
I know. I keep telling him, this is not like the polished Kempire that you see on YouTube.
No. We'll have to do a separate meetup for the kids.
All right. Well, thank you. And I hope that now he's going to give me some grace.
Bye.
Bye.
I love it. Oh, I love that. Okay. Which is only on this channel. I love it. Right? Hold on. Wait. Bradford says her accent makes the lady on RHOP's accent sound fake. Well, no, but there's so many different accents in London. Come on now. All right. Keith is backstage. Keith, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
So first of all, I just wanted to say that with Adriana, You can use microaggressive terms and not be racist. So I definitely did hear ratchet. Even when they did the flashback during the reunion, I heard ratchet again. And the thing is, when I heard her say wretched, it doesn't sound like ratchet. So I wanted to compare side by side on like how she sounded it out for both. And I heard ratchet with a T, not wretched with a D. So I definitely think she meant ratchet. But, but what I wanted to also say is, this kind of brings me back to a conversation I had with a friend a little while ago where I said people of certain communities, they may go at it with each other, but if someone else try to infiltrate what they have going on, they will still bond together to still create solidarity. And the thing is, both Marisol and Adriana are Latina. I mean, even though Adriana is from Brazil, she still is Latina and everything. So I feel like even though they have this contention with each other, they are still going to have that united front against anyone else because they still have that underlying connection, somewhat of what people wanted with Gertie and Kiki, but wasn't really infiltrated on the show. But yeah, that's about it.
All right. Thanks, Keith.
Yeah.
Bye. You notice how they love to talk Spanish during Real Housewives of Miami? I was like, I need Andy to realize that there's a large Haitian community too. How about you do some Creole? But okay, I don't think he realizes that. He thinks it's all Spanish. No, it's not. There's a huge Haitian community in Miami. All right, and you have 2 Haitian women on your cast. Like, why are we not getting a sac passe? Not boule. Like, why are we not getting that? But okay. All right, April's next is backstage. April, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Miami?
Good afternoon, Kempire. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. So I believe that Lisa and Gertie were the MVP of this reunion. And I agree with you that Dr. Nicole has not been made to be a liar. And Marisol's response was just shaky. I almost said like her knees, but that's we're going to keep going. I agree. Julia needs to go because she's just tacky, like her marriage, like her hair, like everything that she brings to us is just not it. And Kiki unfollowed Gertie for trying to see or bring balance to the ratchet or wretched comment, but was able to be forgiving towards Julia and Marisol. Like, that doesn't sit right. And it's just like the other caller said, like how the Latina women, yes, they may fight, but they will still come together. It's like, that's what should have been done. And if you can give grace to Julia and Marisol, then why can't you extend that same grace to your Haitian sister? Like, come on, girl, like, get off the fence. Have a good day, Kempire.
Thanks, April. And that is it for Real Housewives of Miami. You know what I mean, Laura? It's been a great season. It hasn't been their best season though. I will say that. Like the previous seasons, they've been really, really good, but this was a good season. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't like Real Housewives of New York or Real Housewives of Orange County currently. Speaking of which, we did recap it earlier for those that may have missed it. But yeah, it's been a good season. If I had to rate the season overall, I would give it an 8. If I had to rate the reunion, I'd probably give the reunion was a little choppy for me. I'm going to give the reunion a 7, but I'm going to give Adriana the MVP award. I'm going to give her the MVP award. For me, she really brought it during the most interesting parts of the reunion. And if I had to shake up the cast for next season, like I said, I would get rid of Marisol. I like Marisol, but I think she's a cancer to the group. It would be interesting to see Alexia without her. It's very much Giselle and regular Robin situation, even though I don't think Robin was a cancer to the group. But yeah, I want to see a change. I definitely want to see a change. Oh, thank you so much, Kendra, for gifting memberships. If you got gifted a membership, be sure to thank Kendra. Thank you so much, Kendra, for gifting the membership. We appreciate the support. Guys, we're almost at 400 likes. If you're watching a replay of this, don't forget to donate to our Breast Cancer Awareness Month fundraiser for Black Women's Health Imperative. 100% of your donation goes to the organization. So again, we're trying to raise $3,000. We're not even at 5% of our goal. So help me get there. Don't be a brokey. I'm joking. Calm down. But don't be a brokey. Apparently guilt helps. Donate. Come on. Brokey. I'm playing. All right. Oh, Elle says, nah, Robin was only a cancer to herself. But we needed to break up that dynamic to force Giselle to work with the other women. And I think Alexia would be willing. I think behind the scenes, and honestly, even if Marisol's not in this group, I can definitely see her still being very much involved behind the scenes, in my opinion. So if I were casting for this show, I would get rid of Marisol. I would get rid of Julia because I don't feel like she brings anything. And I think that's it. I would hire 2 newbies, a full-time housewife and a new friend of. For now, I'm giving Kiki another shot. Adriana was the MVP of the reunion. I want to see if Gertie goes for her evaluation for ADHD. I'm sorry, because we talked about it. We talked about it during the season. I want to see if she's going to go for the evaluation and see how that plays out. That might actually help her and her dynamic with the rest of the group. Just saying. Okay? No shade, just saying. All right. Thank you for everyone that's liked the video. Thank you to our Kingsguards. Thank you to our channel members. Become a member today at TeamKempire.com/join. And don't forget to listen to the podcast version of our live recap. Sometimes I add special additional content, additional thoughts to our podcast episodes, or special episodes in general will be available there. While you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday. I have some more things to do. Maybe not talk about the Brian McKnight story of it all. We'll see. All right. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Talk to you guys later. Bye, y'all. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for more information on the podcast, head on over to KempireRadio.com.